Hi guys, and welcome from Carly at the Hook and Knot Nook under the Herbathicary. First of all, a big shout out to all who attend my crochet classes. Thank you so much for your patience this last 2 weeks while we've been recovering from our biannual lurgy, and we've been stuck doing Zoom classes. In our last few classes, we have been doing Christmas decorations and Christmas gifts. We made these really cute little wine glass holders with the poinsettias and the holly and the ivy and the snowman. And recently we've just started this project after we've all watched that new wonderful series Wednesday, and my little ladies saw the snoods and wanted ones of their own. Attie very much wanted a brighter one in turquoise and purple, where her sister wanted the Wednesday one. Unfortunately, Attie had to model them both for me because apparently the only person who's allowed to take pictures of Claudia is herself. So as requested, this is a very short, quick video on how I made AJs using the 2 different colors, or as many colors as you like, with these really cute pom-poms. This is a really easy project, great for beginners, and makes a lovely Christmas gift, I think. Now this particular pattern is the kid size. It measures the length or around the head just under 50 inches, and the width of it, or the bit that goes from the front of the head to the back, is just over 11, and that works out perfectly. It's 10 rows of treble crochets, but that works out perfectly for the girls. It to be super chunky, so I'm using 2 strands. Now Attie wanted hers predominantly in the turquoise, so I got 2 balls of those at 100 grams. It's super soft, but I probably only used about a ball in total, and I used a 6mm hook. What you see here is not what was left over of the 2 balls after making the snood, because I used some of this to make myself some chunky slippers last night. So in total I probably used a ball of the turquoise, maybe just over, and less than half of the purple that you wanted in. So I got 1 ball, and I pulled the strands from the middle and used the strand on the outside, so I had 2 strands of that rather than having to buy 2 balls of the purple. And as you can see, I probably used about a quarter of that, if that, just to do those 2 stripes and the pom-poms, and then of course the darning needle to sew in those ends, especially if you are changing colors, as you will have quite a few ends. I've got a nice thick one with a big hole because I'll be using the 2 strands and scissors. So to start it off, we're going to start with whatever color you want your first row to be. And as always, we start with a slip stitch. If you've been in my classes, you know I do the backwards 4, pull that loop over, and then pull the working yarn through to make our slip knot. Obviously you can do it whichever way you like. And then, as I said, to get the about 50 inches using my 6 hook and 2 strands, I did 120 chains for my foundation. So yarn over and pull through, but you do want your foundation chain to be as loose as possible, because the foundation chain is often tighter than the treble crochets or even double crochets, and you want your beginning line to be as wide as your finishing line. So I'm just going to yarn over and pull through, and you'll do this for 120. If you want to try the kids one, if you want to make it longer, add 10, add 10, add 10 until you get the length that you like. So I'm just doing this to give you guys an idea. So I'm only going to do a chain of 20, but you can see if you keep it really loose, it is still quite stretchy. I'm making a rainbow one for my adult friend, and for her I actually did 140 chains at the beginning. So once you've got your desired length Again, I did 120 for the kids. We're going to slip stitch to that first chain that we did. So we're going to go into that first chain with our hook, pull your tail end through, yarn over and pull through both on the hook to make your ring. Obviously, if you're doing the snood, your ring will be a lot bigger than mine. We're now going to work over our tail to make it easier to secure it, and I'm doing the treble crochets, so I'm going to chain 4. If you decide to do doubles for yours, you can do a chain 3, but you will need to do more rows. And then we're going to go into that very next chain along with a treble. So we're going to yarn over twice, go into the 2 loops because we've got 2 strands of that next chain, yarn over, pull through, and you'll have 3 on your hook, or actually 6. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 sets, yarn over, pull through the second 2 sets, and yarn over and pull through the third 2 sets. So however many times you wrap, you'll do 3 motions once you've brought your yarn through. So wrap twice into the next, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through once, yarn over and pull through 2 sets twice, yarn over and pull through 2 sets the third time. And we're going to keep this going all the way around until we get to that last chain. I've done about 5 or 6 treble crochets over that tail end though. I do stop because I'll then work that back in the other direction with my darning needle at the end, just to make sure that that's super secure and it doesn't come out in the wash. My way all the way around, and this bit can be a bit deceiving because it looks like you've come to the end there, but if you hold that chain 4 up, you can see that there's still one more chain there to do. In my case there's 20, but in your case there'll be 120 or smaller or bigger. Now if you're carrying on with the same color, as you see, that hole there is the top of that first treble, and if you count 4 up, we're going to slip stitch into that 4th one. So into that hole, yarn over and pull through everything. And this is if you are keeping it in the same color. I'll do 1 more row of these and then I'll show how to change your color. So again, we're going to chain 4 for our treble, chain 3 if you decide to do doubles instead, yarn over twice into the top of the next treble crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through the final 2. And you're going to repeat this all the way along at the top of those previous treble crochets until we get back to that chain 4. But I do like the treble crochets, especially if I'm using the chunky, doing 2 strands of the yarn, because even though the stitches are quite big, it is still quite warm and fluffy, and I find that you get a nicer droop with the looser stitches. So I'll see you guys right back at the end where I'll show you how to change colors if you so wish. So I'm just coming to the end of that second round, doing my last treble crochet, if I can get my hook in there. And now I want to change it to the next color. So again, I'm going to go into that 4th chain of the previous round, and instead of finishing with that yarn, I'm going to grab my purple. Now normally what you do at this point is probably cut the tail end of or cut the tail, leaving a decent tail of about 10 inches so you can sew it back in before you attach the next color. So I've got my purple, I won't be cutting that, and I will do a slip knot on the end and pull that through, doing the slip knot to complete that round. And now the best thing to do is actually grab the tail end that you would have cut and the tail end of the new color and give them a tie together, pulling your work tight. And now we're going to be working in our secondary color. And I do find it easier to wrap at least one of those tail ends in. I find it's easier to wrap in the new color that you're working with. So again, we're going to chain 4, and then we're going to treble crochet, working around that tail into each treble crochet along. And again, if you wanted to do 2 rounds of this, you would just repeat what we did in the first 2. If you wanted to chain again, you'd repeat what we did in the third one. And it really is that simple. Just continue going this way until you have your desired amount of rows. As I said, for just over 11 inches, I did 10 rows, so 8 blue in total and 2 purple. So now to do those little pom-poms, and again I will be doubling up my yarn. So I want a piece that's long enough to tie up my pom-pom, tie through the scarf, and still have enough to sew in on either end. So I've done mine about 15 inches, and then I want a piece around 10 inches to tie the pom-pom. So I'll pop that bit there. Again, I'm using predominantly turquoise, so I decided to use the turquoise to tie it up. But my pom-poms are going to be turquoise and purple. So I've just grabbed my swimming card, or my sports card. Probably thought it was a good idea not to use a credit card or anything. And I'm going to hold that longer piece, so that about 15-inch piece at the top of the card, so that the pom-pom will be worked around the half. And I've grabbed the 2 strands of each color, and I'm literally just going to wrap this around using the yarn to hold the tie bit in place. I do want my ends a little longer, and you just wrap it as many times as you want for the thickness of the pom-pom that you want. I think because I had 4 strands in total, I probably did about 7 or 8 wraps, which was perfect for the fullness of the pom-pom that I wanted. And snipped my ends, still holding those bits in place, and used that tie bit to tie them securely together. Now you do want this as tightly as you possibly can so the strands don't come out, although the second tie that we do will help keep them in place. So just slip that off your card, and then we're going to cut all those loops. And then we want to straighten or get all the lengths together. You will have slightly longer bits from where you wrapped over and the first bits that you started with. So just straighten that out, and then with that second tie, I'm just going to pop this on top and tie that again. So I do a double knot on the first side, then turn the pom-pom around and double knot on the other side, excuse me getting in the way, and then those ends that we just used to tie up, which is why you'd want it around 10 inches, just snip them off to the same lengths, and there you have your pom-pom. Now I did 3 on each, and I'm going to use those strands to tie it around one of those treble crochets. You can really put them wherever you want. I like them on the hood bit, but you could put them on the scarf bit. Thank you guys again for coming back to the Hook Nook. Hope you guys liked this quick tutorial on how to make these snoods from Wednesday. Super cute, super comfy, and super warm, and my girls have slept in them pretty much every night since I made them. Let us know if you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Please feel free to comment down below, send us pictures if you have made them, and of course if you like the video, please give us a like and subscribe for more videos.